Hello, this is My Sweet Mess, and welcome to my kitchen, where every week I make a mess trying new recipes in the pursuit of something sweet. This week I am excited to try a new to me recipe for Cinnamon Roll Casserole from Kathy at Noble Pig, and I'll leave the original recipe link in the show notes below. This would be a great breakfast or brunch option to serve to family and friends who are visiting. I love how you can prep this the night before and customize this bake to fit your family's preferences. So let me show you what I did and what I would do different next time. So let's jump right in and get started with our mise en place. Mise en place is a French term for putting in place or everything in its place. It's the process of preparing your tools and ingredients before you get started cooking. There are so many great shortcuts to make baking easy and delicious, and this bake is no stranger to that. To start, we are using canned refrigerated cinnamon rolls. I have here 2 cans with 8 cinnamon rolls each. You can use whatever brand you want. You could even use homemade. I love a good shortcut, so I'm just going to use the pre-made. Next, we need a half a cup of heavy cream, 3 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. The recipe also calls for 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom. I didn't have any ground cardamom, so I omitted that ingredient. Oh, and I almost forgot, cooking spray. You can use either cooking spray or about a tablespoon of butter to coat your baking dish. It also calls for 1/2 cup of real maple syrup to go on top of the baked casserole, which I also omitted. And I'll get into why I skipped the maple syrup later on. And that's it. That's all we need. So now that my ingredients are prepped, let's prep our equipment. First things first, we will preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we will need a bowl and a whisk for the wet ingredients. And we'll just set that aside for later. We will also need a pair of kitchen shears or a cutting board and a knife to cut the cinnamon rolls into 1-inch pieces. Finally, we will need a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. And using either cooking spray or butter, we'll coat the inside of the pan and then set that aside for later. Now that the ingredients are measured and the equipment is prepped, let's get started with this bake. To get started, we need to cut all the cinnamon rolls into pieces, which means we need to be brave and not scared or timid or close our eyes while we open the cans of cinnamon rolls. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yay, it's done. Now that we have been really brave and have the cinnamon rolls out of the can, we'll simply cut the cinnamon rolls into quarters, which is about a 1-inch size, and spread them evenly out into the prepared baking dish. This step would be a great one to include any helping hands that are enthusiastic about getting involved in the kitchen. Oh, before I forget, you're going to want to save the icing that comes with the cinnamon rolls to top your casserole later, so just set those aside for now. Once both cans of cinnamon rolls have been cut into about 1-inch size pieces, we're going to take the baking dish and just set it aside for later while we prep the wet ingredients. So we've got our bowl and whisk that we set out earlier, and we're going to add in 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 3 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and give that all a really good whisk. You could also add chopped nuts to this filling if you want to add a nice textural difference. This is also where you would add that ground cardamom, but again, I'm omitting it, so I'm not adding it. Once everything is well combined, we will bring the cut cinnamon roll dish from earlier back over and very carefully pour the egg mixture over the cinnamon roll pieces. And that is it. the casserole is officially assembled. So at this point, you can just pop it into the oven, or I'm actually gonna wait and let the casserole rest a little bit and let some of that egg mixture soak into the cinnamon rolls before putting it into the oven. So I'll be right back. It's been about 30-ish minutes and the cinnamon rolls have soaked in quite a bit of that goodness that we poured on top. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this into that 350-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until the edges and top are just beginning to brown. And I'm back. It's been about 35 minutes and wow, does this casserole smell wonderful. It smells like warm cinnamon and vanilla and it's like a bakery in your own home. I can't believe how great it smells. Now, the casserole's a little too warm to put that cinnamon roll icing on top at this point, so I'm just gonna let it cool off here a little bit, and then I'll be right back when it's time to put the icing on. And I'm back. It's cooled off quite a bit. It's definitely still warm, but I can touch the sides of the pan, so I know that it's cooled off enough that I can handle it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the icing on top. It's at this step that you could also add that half a cup of real maple syrup that I omitted in the mise en place stage, and then add the icing for some extra sweetness. I think that cinnamon rolls are plenty sweet on their own, so I'm gonna just omit the syrup for now. And doesn't that look delicious and cozy? I'm gonna give myself a healthy scoop of casserole with a little bit of fruit on the side just to give it a taste test. And doesn't that look wonderful? This is going to be a perfect casserole, breakfast, brunch item to serve to family and friends, or on Christmas morning while you're opening presents. All right, enough chit chat. Let's give it a taste. Oh, wow, this is great. It's mildly sweet and you get a really nice, rich cinnamon flavor. I love this cinnamon roll casserole paired with fruit, and you could also serve it with some bacon or sausage, which would be a great salty balance to this sweet casserole. All right, I'm off to go find a hot cup of coffee to go with this delicious cinnamon roll casserole. Please let me know if you try this recipe and what adjustments you made to suit your family. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future bakes. Thank you so much for being here, and remember, trying new things is messy, but the end result is pretty sweet. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.